Scott, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Thanks each of you for being here. Let me just start with General Hawk. When I go back to Florida, I get ask a lot of questions about the FBI's violation of 702 and how they surveilled American citizens. I think all of us understand the value of 702, although not many people back home see the value. All they heard is what the FBI did. I think what frustrates people is they don't hear of anybody being held accountable, and then what they hear is nobody wants to make a change in the bill. So, as the director of the NRSA, how are you ensuring the civil liberties and privacy rights of American citizens are not infringed when your agency uses the 702 authorities? And if you discover somebody made a mistake and did violate the rules, how do you hold them accountable?
Senator, we think accountability is an important part of the bill that's in front of Congress. It will mandate that the administration identify minimum penalties from both a civil and a criminal perspective for intentional misuse of this intelligence authority. From our perspective in the National Security Agency, we are incredibly proud of our culture of compliance, and that's ingrained. One of the first things I did when I came into the role is I went and I sat with analysts and walked through this process from how they seek the target information, how they query, how we review it, how we audit it, and how we report any incidents to Congress and to the FISA court. As we do that every day, we want to ensure that we're doing it for its intended purpose. It is our American that serve every day in the National Security Agency are about the defense of the American people. And that includes their civil liberties, their privacy, and we will continue to be transparent about how we use this authority to defend Americans every day in collection against China, against Russia, counterterrorism threats, and cyber threats that face the nation every single day.
Have the governments of China, Russia, and Iran decided to be our enemy?
So I think each of them are not operating in the interests of the United States.
So as a result of that, would you recommend Americans stop buying products made in those countries?
I think when we look at where things are produced, I think from my perspective, that's something I look at every day in terms of who gains benefit. So I think we should definitely be really scrutinizing where those products are coming from.
So China, Russia, and Iran, they have highly capable cyber operations. Do you think they're worried about our offensive cyber capabilities?
I do, Senator.
Okay. General Fenton, do you have the wherewithal to get our hostages out of Gaza?
Sir, first, for your Special Operations Command, Counselor, with Central Command, that is our laser-like focus, bringing those American hostages home. And we absolutely have capabilities, as have been demonstrated for years, in that arena to do just that. And we train very hard to do that each and every day. It's our sacred obligation, and we absolutely have demonstrated those capabilities. No adversary should mistake that we can do that anywhere in the world. But in Gaza, it's in concert with CENTCOM and our Israeli teammates.
You think the president knows you have the capability?
Senator, I am very sure, having briefed him personally on a number of operations of the variety, that we have that capability, as does Secretary of Defense and certainly as does Secretary Mayor.
So would you characterize the need for your services, special operations, increasing or decreasing over the last few years?
Senator, I would absolutely uncategorically categorize it as increasing, and I'll give you a bit of my thoughts on data to prove that. On the combatant command requirements that go across their desire to have us either in integrated deterrence or in other form factors prior to conflict, that's gone up by about 35% over the last 3 years. In the crisis response arena, that defined as going out the door very quickly to rescue someone, recover diplomats, or keep an intense focus on U.S. hostages for future recovery, that's gone up by 150% in the last 3 years. So I absolutely see those requirements going up. I don't think that's a blip on the radar screen. I think that's a pattern that will continue.
So does it frustrate you when your budget doesn't increase? And I guess the Army just recently decided to cut 3,000 people from special operations. How do you deal with all that?
Well, Senator, first, it is in conversation with the Secretary of Mayor and the Secretary of Defense presenting the information that I had just laid out for you and the team, and in concert with other services who have transformed objectives and also recruiting challenges. We all work together to come up with a final decision through a lens of modernization, readiness, and operation, making hard choices. But I do remind folks, Secretary of Mayor is a key helper and assistant, and all of us with this together, those requests and requirements are absolutely going up. In a budget that is flat or a decreased buying power of 15 to 16% because of inflation, it drives us to those hard choices that we should make. And at some point, we are, through a threshold of risk-based approach, we'll have to report that we will do less. Yet at the same time, as resources become available, we're able to scale up very quickly. So hard choices drive us to that based on a fiscal and personnel environment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Scott. Senator Kelly, please.
Mr. Chairman,